Hello and welcome to Transfermarkt TV. I'm Ben Littlemore, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Transfermarkt's South America area manager, Scott Christensen, who joins us all the way from Buenos Aires today. And Scott joins us because we're talking about another talent coming through in Argentina at the moment. River's 17-year-old midfielder, Franco Mastantuono, is one of the most exciting young players in the continent right now and has recently been linked with Real Madrid, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Barcelona. It does seem like a matter of time before he gets a big move to a European club. Scott, a lot of our viewers will have heard his name and seen him being linked with big clubs, but probably won't know too much about him. Would you mind by starting by just telling us what kind of midfielder Franco Mastantuano is and why there's so much excitement around him in Argentina?
Well, he's a very exciting prospect in Argentina because, as you know, he started playing in the first division on a top club like River at just 16 years old. So there's like a big excitement because that's not usual for us. He has a huge personality. I mean, in tough moments such as Copa Libertadores games or the Super Clásico against Boca Juniors, the guy is considered by his different coaches. He had the Michelis at first and now Gallardo, and he usually is still a bench player. I mean, he gets subbed in when they need to win, but I think it's logical because he's just 17, but he's playing quite a lot, honestly. He's a small offensive midfielder, as many Argentinians. He's very talented. He's left-footed. He's very good, like playing between the lines. I mean, he's like starts on the back of the central midfielder and between the center backs. He usually finds his space there and creates a lot of trouble. So he's like small and like hard to get. He's very creative and has like good shot and good passing skills. So, I mean, he's very young at the moment, so I can know for sure what's it gonna end about his career. But in my opinion, he's really, really promising.
I've heard him, I was reading some reports today and I've heard some people comparing him to Phil Foden. But just then, when you said small, creative, left-footed, it's quite hard to look past Lionel Messi, right? So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, is there any sort of player, past or present, that he reminds you of in the way he plays?
I mean, if I look at the European football, I think Phil Foden is quite similar. Foden, I think, has a better strike than Mastantuano, but he's, as we said, he's still young, so probably gonna improve a lot. And he reminds me at the original first Rodrigo de Paul when he used to play in Argentina. He used to play as an offensive midfielder for Racing, and the guy was like really intense, like as you see him now, but not running so much in defense, more in attack. So Mastantuano is kind of that player, like he's always pressuring the defenders. He's moving, looking for the ball. He's always an option for his teammates. He's quite like annoying for a defender because he doesn't stop. He's always in movement. So yeah, I think the first Paul we've seen, and maybe now, yeah, something like I think Foden. We've seen him in like Spanish newspapers comparing him with Federico Valverde, but in my opinion, is nothing to do with Valverde.
Bit of a reach, that one. With DePaul as well, he's quite a character and he's very fiery on the pitch. He likes getting stuck in. He's got a bit of personality about him. Do you already
Yeah.
see a bit of personality in Mastantuano?
Yeah, actually, for example, yesterday, well, on Tuesday, River got eliminated of the Copa Libertadores, and something that is not usual. The fans were asking for a 17-year-old guy to come into the pitch. Like they were getting eliminated, and they wanted this guy and the Echeverri, the one that Manchester City bought. They wanted both teenagers inside the pitch because they thought they could change the story. Yeah, he has a huge personality for just a 17-year-old. Like it's a bit surprising that he's always asking for the ball, no matter who his teammate is. He's asking for the ball, and if he doesn't get it, he runs to get it, and he's.
I saw in the Copa Libertadores out the El Monumental, the atmosphere of that game looked very intense. So if he's able to deal with that at 17, that's some achievement.
Yeah.
I've seen some reports in terms of a fee that River might demand potentially in January or maybe more likely next summer if he was to leave and go to European football. I've heard around sort of 40, 50 million euros being touted. How much do you think River would expect if a big European club came in for him?
I mean, the market in Argentina, as the economy isn't good in Argentina, the clubs, I mean, River would expect that money because he's a promising talent, but it's impossible. I mean, if Manchester United came to River and offered them 20 million or 25 million, I think they would probably accept the offer, because we can't handle like a huge offer and reject it. It's I mean, our clubs are exporters, so we need the money to grow better talents and buy new players. So if a big club comes with a lot of money, I mean, the biggest transfer in our history was Saviola, 37 million, like 25 years ago. And if you check out another examples, like such as Enzo Fernandez or Julian Alvarez, they were both sold around 20 million. I mean, Enzo then with the percentage they have and sold to Chelsea, he was much bigger, but he was sold for 18 million. And he was already a huge talent. And Julian Alvarez, for example, had won the Copa Libertadores and was sold for 21 million. And he was the top scorer of the league. So, I mean, I think if around 20 million euros a club offers River, they'll probably accept it.
It's very interesting. So a lot of clubs could see that as a potential huge bargain. I think he has a current market value of 13 million. But from what you're saying about him, that's something that's sure to rise in the future if he carries on at the same trajectory.
Yeah, and if the guy will be playing, for example, in Brazil, his market value would be much higher because of the market itself. So yeah, it's a different situation in Argentina, and the economy isn't good enough. So I mean, the clubs and the market values couldn't go that higher as we know the player can go in a future.
Like obviously throughout history, Argentina have been famous for producing top talents. If you go back as far as Diego Maradona, you mentioned Saviola, Batistuta, Lionel Messi, of course, and it seems like in recent years that's happening again with we've seen Julian Alvarez, Echeverri, who's obviously going to go to Manchester City, and now Mastantuano. What is it that's so special? Obviously the players are talented, but is there something in the way players are developed at clubs like River and Boca? How do they keep producing so many good talents?
I mean, I think we naturally have a lot of talented players, and recently a Colombian ex-player that used to play for Boca Juniors that is now a journalist compared the situation between Argentina and Colombia that applies in this case, because he said that the Argentinians, when they are born and raised in football, they have like a huge level of competitiveness. So if a 13-year-old loses a game, he's crying and very upset and angry. And if a Colombian loses a game, they receive a medal for the second place. So I think the Argentinians are raised with that competitiveness, and I mean, like, they always want to win and really upset if we don't win. And I think that's a very important thing. So you see players like these guys that at 17 years old playing in the first team of River, they have already that personality and want to win. And on the other hand, I think we have a lot of talent. River is the main, in my opinion, has the best youth team. They are like producing a lot of young talents. Usually in history, River has always been the best team in producing players. So yeah, I think it's a mix between the talent and the like competitiveness that we have here. So yeah, I think the hope so that we'll keep producing very young talents.
Yeah, I went to Buenos Aires a few years ago, and the passion was overwhelming. I don't think I met a single person who didn't like football in my entire time there. So he's been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs as well as Real Madrid, who maybe look most likely to get him. Do you think he's the sort of player that's suited to the Premier League? Maybe not yet, but in the future, do you think he would sort of thrive in that environment, in a fast-paced league?
Definitely, because as I said at the beginning, he's like really intense and constantly in movements, and he's fast, and he's like I think it would be the perfect league for him, much more than for example the Serie A. I think the La Liga maybe would fit for him if he plays in a team like Real Madrid that's really offensive but always like in contact with the ball. But in my opinion, the Premier League would be the ideal league for him.
Very interesting. Scott, thank you very much for your time today. And thank you very much for listening, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe below if you like this sort of content. We'll be providing plenty more throughout the season. So Franco Mastantuono, one of the most exciting young players in the world right now, could be available for around 25 million euros and could be the next Phil Foden. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and thank you very much, Scott.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.